In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 habits that poker players can learn from Navy SEALs in order to build a stronger mindset. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button before we get started so you don't miss any future videos. Now, Navy SEALs are known to be some of the toughest men on the planet, and their training to get into Navy SEALs is ridiculous. 6 weeks, I'm sure you guys have heard of Hell Week and all the things those guys go through. Now, despite them picking some of the best candidates in the world, or some of the toughest guys, they were having at one stage a 76% failure rate. So all these tough men were going through and they were failing. Only 24% were coming through successfully. And they were wondering what was going on. What was going on with their mindset? These guys should be tough enough. How are we breaking so many people? So they got in a lead psychologist and they were like, okay, let's study what's going on with their mind. And they ended up coming up, the psychologist working with all the Navy SEAL candidates, ended up coming with what he called the Big Four. The Big Four mindset habits that these Navy SEALs need to develop in order to build a mindset strong enough to get them through training. And these habits are going to be very applicable to you as a poker player. So just been learning more about this myself, I thought it was super fascinating. And I always like to learn from different fields and then bring them to a poker context for you guys so that you can build a stronger mindset, which is very useful for the poker environment. So the first habit that they came up with was focusing on the right here, right now. Very short-term, narrow focus. So when you're doing tough things like Hell Week for the Navy SEALs or putting in long grinding hours for yourselves, often we can get too caught up in like the big picture, how hard it's going to be. And when we overthink stuff, things get really complicated. But if you focus on just the right here, right now, a very small step, everything's doable. So I can picture myself, maybe a year ago, I climbed a volcano, which is very, very steep. And I remember at the start of it, I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to get up this volcano. And my focus was like, how am I going to get to the top? I'm already tired. How am I going to get to the top? And I remember just to narrow my focus and just go, next step, next step, next step, next step. So anytime you're overcomplicating things, anytime in your life where things feel difficult or challenging, if you can narrow your focus to the next step's always easy. The next step's just like a very simple thing, and the more you be narrow focused, the easier it is. So when Navy SEALs are going through Hell Week, for example, they ain't going to focus on the 70 hours of no sleep and all the things they're doing. They're like, just get through this task. Let's just get through this mile. Let's just carry this log over there. So for you guys, if you're doing a long day grinding or studying, just get started. Just get going in that next moment. That's the first habit that I learned from the Navy SEALs. The second habit is to remember how good it will feel. How good it will feel after you've completed it. Often when we want to do stuff and it's hard, we kind of think of all the negatives. Oh, this is going to be hard work, it's going to be tough. But almost always, when you've done something hard, on the other side, you feel good, right? So instead of waiting for that feeling, instead of waiting until you've actually finished it, what happens if you imagined yourself completing it? And even better than that, what happens if you broke down a big task into smaller segments and imagine yourself just getting started? Imagine yourself doing a small bit of it and how that would feel. It would feel good, right? So a lot of times for myself, when I'm trying to get myself to do stuff, rather than whipping myself, go on Adam, do it, I actually tap into, you're going to feel good. I tell myself, Adam, you'll feel good once this is done. So this could be a study session, a grinding session. Just imagine how it's going to feel once it's complete. This is a really big one for visualizing that future outcome and allowing yourself to feel the success of the small win before you get started. And that's often enough to get you going and moving in the right direction. The third mindset habit that Navy SEALs use is deep breathing. When you feel overwhelmed, often the brain is just going crazy. It's going very, very fast. And one of the quickest ways to slow down the brain's process is through the breath. Now, there's multiple ways to do this. One form is called box breathing, where you basically breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4, then you breathe out for 4 seconds, exhale, and then you hold for 4. So it's like it makes a box with the 4s, if you can imagine the ups, downs, and holds. So that's a box breathing, slows it down. Another one is to inhale for 6 seconds, pause for 2 seconds, exhale for 6 seconds. So any mechanism where you're consciously controlling the breath and you're slowing it down, you will notice it really overcomes the breath. Now I did overcomes overwhelm. I did a Wim Hof breathing kind of course about a year ago now, and we had to go into ice cold water. And one of the techniques we used in order to deal with the ice exposure was box breathing. So 4 seconds in, hold, 4 seconds, exhale, hold, 4 seconds again. So like holding your breath and controlling your breath allows you to stop the mind from going crazy, and as a result you get control. So any of you guys experience a tilt episode or you're super frustrated, your mind's just really busy, you just feel completely overwhelmed with what you're doing, just stop, slow down, meditate, slow your breathing down. It's a real game changer. For me, like before shooting this video, I was feeling a bit overworked today, and in the past I would have tried to just take a coffee, get myself going, but I did the opposite. Slow my breathing down, relax myself. Very often, all your problems fade away when you can see them clearly. And finally, the fourth one is to cheer yourself on. If you notice, a lot of like Navy SEAL kind of characters, they're very big on positive self-talk. They're all like, come on, let's go. We got this. We can do it. There's a bodybuilder who used to be a bodybuilder called Ronnie Coleman. Type Ronnie Coleman into Google, you'll see this. And he used to lift ridiculous weights. Absolute massive guy, like former Mr. Olympia. And he used to lift like comically big weights. It's like ridiculous stuff. And he used to always be lifting them, and he used to always be shouting out, lightweight, lightweight, lightweight. And it's positive self-talk. So what you're doing there is you're going head on to a challenge, and rather than letting your mind go, this is tough, which your mind will do, your mind will fill in the blanks, you force yourself to think of the positive angle. Like imagine if the weight's going lightweight, your mind's like, oh, is it light? Must be light. Or imagine like a David Goggins character, he's just like, let's go, let's get after it, running like marathon. So when you're doing something hard, whether it's studying, grinding, anything in your daily habits, face it head on and be positive with your self-talk, and like find a few phrases that work for you. So often when you're trying to find an affirmation or like some self-talk to use, you just got to find those words that are like applicable to you. You can't like use somebody else's and expect it to work. So play around with stuff. It might be, you can do this. It might be, let's go. It might be, even if I fail, I learn. Something that makes you like keep going, and understand that if you have a supportive self-talk, we can always be more resilient. If you're the most resilient people on the planet, they're not the guys who have negative dialogue. They don't have like that inner critic going crazy. They have a supportive inner voice. That's like, let's go. We've got this. We can do this. If that negative voice comes up, they reframe that into a positive one. Let's go. Let's get after it. So those 4 habits, hopefully you guys will start to use at least one of them. I found them very useful myself. I've been using them on off throughout my life. And yeah, I thought it was very interesting to see the mindset of the top Navy SEALs, and these are some of the toughest minds in the world. They use these 4 habits in order to deal with extreme adversity. So for you guys in the poker environment, not quite as extreme as what Navy SEALs go through, but super applicable, very practical. Get using them. Let me know in the comments which of the 4 is your favorite one and which one you're going to try out using next time the situation fits. Thanks for watching this, guys. Now, I put a free quiz together for you guys if you want to see what level your current mindset is at. If you click on the link in the bio, sorry, in the description, you'll be able to see a link to a quiz. It will tell you what level your mindset is and how you can improve it to take it to a further level. Thanks for watching this, guys. Got plenty more coming from me very soon.